So, like, no matter how loud I talk, it just compresses it no matter how loud I get?
No, well, it did a little bit, you jerk. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Netflix Explorers podcast, the podcast where we dive deep into Netflix so you don't have to. From the 1890 studios, my name is Dale.
It's October, football's here, pumpkins are here, it's fall, and my Netflix queue is full. I'm Adam.
And now that Adam's Netflix queue is full, also the region is full with me, Patrick, freshly moved into Highland, here to cast.
Today we're going over what happened to Monday, American Vandal and Creep. We'd appreciate if you could stick around. And hello to you, gentlemen. Welcome back to the cast.
Oh, dude, I miss you guys so much.
You know what? Our listeners are going, yeah, what the heck? You guys came up last week. What's the big deal? Realistically, we haven't been together for a month.
A month. We've had a lot of things happen this past month. Patrick moved to Highland.
Patrick is now in the region, moved from Illinois to Indiana.
I was in the region the entire time.
Well, you know, it's debatable.
We could debate it right now if you want.
On another podcast that we also do. But also, Adam got married, and he's back from his honeymoon. Adam?
Aloha, bitches.
Aloha, bitches. Well, we're glad to have you, man. You're all tanned up. You're all, you're relaxed from the beaches and the clear waters.
I am. I feel good. I feel relaxed. I feel rejuvenated.
So you watch these movies on the honeymoon? How did the wife
I watched
feel
them all on
about
the plane.
Oh, okay.
So no problems there.
Okay, good.
We're both watching our movies. She watched Beauty and the Beast. I watched
He's
all these
moving into
movies.
marriage very well.
The Emma Watson Beauty and the Beast?
The Emma Watson Beauty and the Beast. She loved it.
Interesting.
Okay, good. So you're back. You're back, Patrick. You're in the Region. Adam, you're back here in the mainland, in the Continental.
Back in the Continental. Went to Hawaii.
Right.
Saw Pearl Harbor and all that stuff. So.
I mean, we talk about Lost a little bit on this podcast. Did you...
Lockdown B?
Were they going to start a Lost, season 7?
No.
Or 8?
But they were filming a Jurassic World video.
Did you get in it?
I tried. But they had... Even like the boom lifts they were using to film everything was covered in camo.
Oh,
it was pretty sweet.
You do a great T-Rex impression. So
are we going to see you on the ride?
What's that?
Am I going to see you on the?
I try to get in there. I'm not gonna lie.
So we're gonna look at the.
I try to walk off the trail when we were hiking and be like, oh hey, this isn't where I parked my car. So if you hear that on the ride, that's me,
dude. If you're on Jurassic Park, the ride, man.
I play a T-Rex.
Did you plug the cast at least?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I held a sign like game day, like college game day. Like, send money to at
1890
studio. $8 88.
So this is your theme song now.
This was going through my head the whole time I was out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, if you watched them all, the first one up is a 2017 film. What Happened to Monday? How it got a 6.9 IMDb, I do not know. 123 minutes is the runtime. Patrick, was it too much?
It was definitely too much.
All right. Adam, what do you think? Do you like before we roll the trailer?
I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it.
You explained it to me before I watched it, and it was intriguing. Kept me there the whole time, but let's roll the trailer just so we know what's going on.
It is the biggest crisis in human history.
Dr. Nicolette Kamen has prompted the Federation to institute a one-child-per-family policy.
And making a better future for our children.
Glenn Close.
China worldwide.
Plan on hiding this.
Yeah. Futuristic worlds.
Glenn Close looks like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
William Dafoe. 2 weeks in a row.
No, it's Willem. Not William.
So it's you.
Will.I.am Dafoe.
Starting tomorrow, you will each get to go outside on the day of the week that is your name.
So he's got 7 kids, and it's a one-child policy, so he's got to teach them to be one person, basically.
Yeah, I think you might want to call this movie Defying Society.
Willem Dafoeing Society.
You will all take on the singular identity of Karen Sedman.
What's your name?
Karen Sedman.
Karen, do you have any siblings?
No.
And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you can never tell a soul that you're a sibling.
Where the hell is she? What if Monday's hurt?
Tons of computer screens in this movie.
So if you haven't figured out, all of the siblings are 7 days. They're all the days of the week.
Great tunes.
We have to keep this localized. Do not underestimate the Setmans.
Her face can't even move anymore.
Her forehead is taking up the screen.
She's got a lot of work done. Glenn Close, though.
That's Glenn Close?
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
Willem.
Willem Dafoe. Glenn Close. Seven Sisters. That's in French. Can't read that.
The original French title was Seven Sisters, not What Happened to Monday.
What happened to Monday?
How was this a Netflix original if it was originally done in France?
Here, why don't you read the synopsis, Dale?
Okay.
I was going to read it, but if you read the first couple words, do it in the movie trailer man voice, please.
In a world where families are limited to one child due to overpopulation, a set of identical septuplets must avoid being put into a long sleep by the government and dangerous in fighting while investigating the disappearance of one of their own.
Nice. Well done.
I figured that was good.
That was good.
But yeah, that pretty much defines it. Right off the bat. I mean, my notes. I put down. It's explained in 4 minutes. This entire thing is. You know what's going to happen in 4 minutes.
So it's funny that you say that because the first time I watched this, my girlfriend put it on, and it was about 30 minutes into the film. I just passed out, and then I woke up probably an hour later.
Okay.
Because the movie was still on, an hour, 90 minutes into the movie. And so I wake up, and I'm watching probably 3 scenes, and I pick up on everything that's happening. And I'm like, okay, boom, boom, boom. All right, I got what's going on. And then once you realize what's going on, it's like, wow, the first 60 minutes, the first 60 and 90 minutes of this movie are just like filler.
Right.
The last 30 are the resolution to it.
Yeah.
So it was just like way out of the wheelhouse, way overextended. But the movie as a whole, I think, was
Did it culminate to what you want?
It definitely did not.
Yeah, you're right, Patrick. I mean, in my notes, after that 4 minutes was like described, and we knew exactly what was going on. Willem Dafoe, like the backstories of this family, which more or less you're going to read into. We'll be light on that. It's a little more than just a family, but after it, has a racing start, it just kind of slows down for whatever your nap time was.
Yeah, 60 minutes.
Yeah, it slowed down. Like, yeah, okay, we know you're in a plate. Please move on. So it was way too much establishing originally for me, but the story was just pretty cool. So I stuck around for the whole thing.
Yeah, I
didn't get a nap time. Put it that way.
The arc of the characters was kind of nice, but I mean, it wasn't enough to keep me around for the whole 123 minutes. But Adam, you said you liked this movie?
I did.
And why'd you like it?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. First of all, so you kind of talked about in the trailer, it's a global wide one-child policy.
I mean, let's stop you right there. Society defined to the
Dude,
max.
society defined. I love society defined.
So that's all up your alley.
I'm already into it.
Defined by sociology, yeah.
Yeah, so I've been worrying about overpopulation for years, and
we can tell you're panicked.
So basically, it's a one-child policy, but there's 7 kids, septuplets or whatever it is.
Septuplets.
So William Dafoe trains all of his daughters to take. He names them days of the week, like your Monday, your Tuesday, your Wednesday, and they all go out one day of the week and pretend to be the same girl, and they're all identical.
Right, they got to come back at the end of the day and
I really
talk
like.
About their
have
day.
a meeting.
Right.
I thought the actress, Naomi something, I can't remember her name.
It's Elizabeth Shaw from the Alien Covenant and Alien...
And from a Fast and the Furious
Prometheus.
film, I think.
Yes,
right?
but she plays all 7 roles.
Yeah.
And which I really liked because each character had, even though they were playing the same person when they went out in public, they all had different personalities.
Right.
And I could tell which one was Monday, which one was Friday, which one was Saturday, just by her acting and how she acted in those roles.
Dude, that's that's
dynamite.
No, she didn't play one character. She wasn't one movie character. She was 7.
Yeah.
She did a great job. I will say though, the building of the characters and of the sisters took too long. Yeah, we understand you're all different. One's kind of punk rocky, one's kind of the hippie, one's the, chick who works out. She's kind of a, tomboy kind of gal, but I don't know, like that was too drawn out for me. It's like, okay, we understand you're going to be in a play. We understood Willem Dafoe as your father, understood the struggle you guys are going to go through. Move on. Show us your struggle. So it waited quite a bit to get to that, the struggle that gets to them later. But when it does, I really liked the plight that they were in, like their struggle to do what they had to do. I mean, it was really cool. They had great, spoiler alert, fight scenes. The drama was great. Again, she had to act as herself 7 times. She did a great job.
And not only that, but I did write down that, because I found some plot holes in this that I couldn't get around. And what was cool about it was because William Dafoe, when he's training them in the first 4 minutes, like you talked about, how to be the same Karen Setman,
right?
You got to sit down every day and you got to tell each other every detail about your day,
right?
Every interaction
who
you had,
talk to,
who you talk to, everything,
right?
But in the first 20 minutes of the movie, you realize they are all keeping secrets from each other.
Sure.
Big time. They suck at this.
Yeah, they do.
Like,
Which
drove me nuts.
Right. That bothered me too.
Yeah.
The other actor in here, there's other male actors that they meet in their lives, but one of them that they're in a fight for a promotion with, was in Kon-Tiki, who was on the podcast. And that he was in Kon-Tiki on the podcast. He wasn't here in studio. Although
that was
I wish
back
he
before
was.
the pre-Patrick days.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, Patrick, we gotta watch
long ago.
We gotta watch Kon-Tiki. We gotta re-record all of our first.
I was telling everyone in Hawaii about Kon-Tiki.
You're like, come on, that's how they all got here. Was on the Kon-Tiki bed. You guys see that movie?
If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out Kon-Tiki.
We're the Netflix Explorers at 1890studios.com. No, but anyway, so yeah, you're right, Adam. As far as in their life, where the government is, keeping this one-child policy to an absolute T, and that actually has a twist, which you want to pay attention to, and how they, regulate that. They are kind of sloppy in how they.
Yes, which I thought was a little. I didn't. They explain a little bit at the end why they're a little bit sloppy, but the sloppiness really drove me nuts.
Right. Yeah, me too. It's like, you guys are on wit's end.
And
you're really going to be sloppy now.
And the guy, for all you FIFA fans out there like myself,
okay,
the guy that plays the security guy at their apartment,
who maybe has a love interest, but I don't want to spoil that.
No,
light,
the different
very
guy.
light.
Oh,
okay. The guy that runs is the front desk guy.
Oh,
in
sure,
the beginning.
Okay.
He is, if you play FIFA: The Journey, which is like a
FIFA 16
is the career
the story mode.
FIFA 17 and 18.
Spoiler,
the story mode. He plays. I didn't realize he's the actor in FIFA that plays that guy.
Oh, no
so
kidding.
It's it was kind of. I was like, oh, dude, I played as that guy in the story mode in FIFA.
What did he play a better role in? The video game?
Oh, FIFA for sure. He's way better. Alex Hunter, my dog, dude.
Okay.
I got him up to 79. Starting for the LA Galaxy right now. We're looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah, Chelsea, but I like where you're at. What do you got to say, Patrick?
You said Chelsea. I guess I'll say Championes,
Oh,
and
I
then
love
pass
it.
it back to you.
Ole.
Okay, Glenn. I have in my notes too. Glenn Close. What's she been doing lately? I thought she got nominated
You
for
said
something.
Hillary. I wrote
She looks
down
like Hillary Clinton.
I wrote down she's Hillary Clinton in this movie.
She must be on SNL or something.
Must be doing something. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, what else is there more to say about this one? It's a society defying. It's an interesting tale. I don't think I've seen something really similar to this, so it's interesting to check out.
I'd say we'll Will.i.am Dafoe's and Glenn Close's role in this movie was really shrunk down to maybe combined 10 minutes of screen time total.
Maybe.
And it was mostly focused on Elizabeth Shaw from Alien Covenant, the Seven Sisters.
Right.
And then her...
Well, she did play 7 characters of like the 10 in the whole movie.
Okay, yeah, so I'll give her 70% screen time. But
right.
she was also fighting with the one... I want to see... Because it was set in Britain, so it was... I can't remember what the guy's name is, but he was like the antagonist. He was the right-hand man of...
Glenn Close. Right.
So it was mostly those two squaring off together.
Right.
But then again, it wasn't mostly him squaring up against her. It was Elizabeth Shaw versus
Elizabeth Shaw.
System.
Oh, okay. Right.
Kate, what was the something Stewart? I can't remember. What
Kristen Stewart?
Not Kristen. Whatever the Seven Sisters' one identity was.
Oh, Stepman.
Kristen Stepman.
Karen Stepman.
Yeah. Karen Stepman. Yeah, so it was mostly, well, obviously it was Karen Stepman versus the world, but it wasn't just Karen Stepman.
Right.
You know, it was this.
Yeah, no, it was like that was kind of cool. It's kind of a redeeming factor. There were 7 different people trying to be one. And as they struggled, you know, they came home and you didn't tell me about this and you didn't know that you talked to this guy, and
it's a totally society-defining concept where you're all trying.
I haven't watched anything like this.
Where you're trying to be one person. It's like, hey, don't lose track of the goal. Karen Stepman is us.
Right.
Like, without Karen Stepman, we have no chance in this world.
Well, exactly, and they're all basically know they're like illegal. Like the siblings are not supposed to be there.
Right.
So they all know that.
They all train how to hide, and
they have
their whole life has been trained how to not be detected and not be found by the government.
Right. They've trained when they were a kid to get in the panic room when somebody comes to the door. This. So, but yeah, as Adam said, the way they kind of like get sloppy towards the end kind of frustrates me. But
even in the beginning, I thought they were sloppy.
Yeah, they were kind of sloppy because it was. They pulled kind of I don't know if I want to reveal this, but it was kind of a prestige-y type of...
Yes, I wrote that down. I wrote prestige meets society-defying futuristic.
Right. So we're going to let that go. I mean, I'm not going to reveal much about this because I really think this one should be a watch. Let's go right into rewatch and recommendability, Patrick. Before I say mine, what do you think? It's
a double no for me.
Double no.
No rewatch, no recommendation.
No recommend. Okay. Yeah. Any reason why you're shutting it down or no?
The quality wasn't there. I think a lot of the CGI for it looked like they took just a minivan and slapped some rims on it and then tinted the windows for the cars that the government drives around in. I didn't like it.
That's futuristic, man.
It's not. It's ghetto.
The sweet hubcaps are all part of the future. I'm excited for the future.
It looked like cardboard cutouts that they glued over the hubcaps, but I mean, that's just...
Welcome to the region. Adam,
that's not
Adam, rewatchability recommendation.
Hubcaps aside, I really like this movie. I would recommend, but I don't think I would rewatch. Even though we said it's kind of prestige-y, I think
just a portion is...
It's not enough to give you the full rewatchability that you're looking for.
Sure.
But if I may I was thinking about this on the plane, and it's a little bleak, and I hate to bring it up, but I just want to know your guys' thoughts about this. And what more time to get genuine thoughts on the cast, right?
Of course.
I love society-defying movies.
As do I.
Most of them are future-based, and the future goes to crap.
Sure.
It's kind of demoralizing, isn't it? Like, every futuristic movie is the world screwed up.
Well, when you got Glenn Close being that type of character.
You know, I think we should make a society-defying movie where the future is awesome.
World War Z.
I've been thinking the 50...
Right? Did you see that movie, World War Z?
I didn't see it. I thought it was about
World
zombies.
is awesome.
World War Z. Patrick Swayze. Brad Pitt saves the day.
No.
What does he save the day from?
Zombies.
Yeah,
okay,
but no.
There's your...
I want a society-defying movie that's about, the future is amazing, and we have this amazing new scenario that shapes society, and we want a movie about that.
What about The Giver?
The Giver's still a little bleak, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Super bleak.
I want something a little more positive. I want to, we colonize this planet. We colonize this planet. Now this planet's at war with this planet. Oh, but we
so
still
you
have...
want Star Trek Next Generation. Okay.
I do. Yes, thank you. I want Star Trek Generation movie about the future that's even Star Trek. Just, it's good. It's like, hey, 2050, and we're colonizing space, and we're looking good, and the country's doing this. We got hologram food.
With a Hollywood mindset on, I really think the struggle sells.
Not only that, I think you're living in it. The pro-society defining movie. You're living it.
That's true. We're in it now. So why make a movie about it?
No.
All right. Well, my take, I'm with you, Adam. I do not think I need to rewatch this one, but I will recommend it. I think society defying, boom, 10 for 10. It's very
just
defying.
To see the one actress play all 7 roles is pretty good.
And you know what? And I've seen Parent Trap, and I know how the double recording goes. They just keep the camera in the same spot. It can be crap. And this is really good. Because, I mean, again, she does not do like a great acting role. She does 7 great acting roles. So, anyway, it's worth a watch. The story doesn't make me want to rewatch it again. But I think if someone's into society defying, and as Patrick fell asleep through half of it, I think this is a vacuum action.
And as we talked about, like, some character as Karen Setman has an interaction with somebody, doesn't tell the girls about it. That person reacts to them. They don't know how to react. They're very anxious. Like, hey, what's wrong with you? What's it's very well done.
Right. It's definitely worth a watch. I just think you can be one and done with this one. I don't think you need to revisit this one. But if somebody had it on, I would watch it again. Liquor Store Aisle, Patrick. You got anything for this one?
Yeah, this is like going to a nice Italian restaurant, and then somebody you don't like shows up, and then all of a sudden they send 7 glasses of the house red wine to your table, and it's like, just drink them or be a jerk. So I just drank them, bared through it. That's what this was for me.
Adam, what about you?
I'm on a similar, not quite the same, but I said it's kind of Euro. It's kind of got a Euro vibe, so I wrote down sangria. Sangria wine.
Sure.
Have 7 glasses of sangria. You're gonna be feeling real good. You're gonna like this movie. You're gonna feel a little Euro. It's good stuff.
Sure. I got a 7 and 7. That's my drink.
Guys, well done, everybody.
That's a Seagram 7 and 7 Up. I mean, it's
cheers.
It's
champion. Nice.
It's not a. It's not a bad drink at all. And
7 and 7. God damn, that's a good one.
But it's not my go-to. And just like this movie, like it's a good film. I'm glad Patrick brought me a 7 and 7 to the table. Thank you, Patrick. But I don't think I'm going to have another one. But if you're looking for something to drink, Adam, I'd say, hey, I just had a 7 and 7. I suggest it.
6-9.
No, mid-5s.
Mid-5s?
Mid-5s, IMDb. Yeah.
You crazy, Patrick? What do you think?
I'd take a Tank 432 over.
Oh, Jebediah.
Don't even. Okay, we're done. I would agree, though. I bump it down to the mid-6s. I don't think it's 6-9. I think it's a mid-6.
Okay. I
don't think it goes to the 5. It's definitely a 6 movie.
I think you need rewatchability to get into the 6s. That's my opinion.
We can replay the podcast. There's a lot of movies without rewatchability in the 6s.
I'm not consistent. You know that.
I think this one's still young because didn't it just come out last month or the month before?
Yes,
sure.
It just came out
on Monday.
I think we read the Netflix news, and I was like, what happened to Monday? I don't know. Tuesday came, or something like that.
Well, hang on a second. We're the Netflix Explorers here. This is a Netflix original.
Correct.
Did Netflix again put, do you think Netflix is still on the up and up in making these movies?
I do.
We've only watched ones I think we pretty much enjoyed, more or less.
My only concern with Netflix is I think when they were starting out to make original content, you got like House of Cards, you got this kind, other kind
Stranger
of stuff.
Things.
Like we're only going to do A-list awesome things to we're going to touch on all genres.
Right.
We're going to be a big production company.
Yeah, Caesar Jadeville,
Naked.
Oh my
Naked.
God.
Yeah,
we're gonna make
Flaked. Yeah,
Flaked. We're gonna make everything.
Is Ozark a Netflix original?
But hold on, you see? Yep, original.
Yep. So they went from, but I think they did the right thing where we're gonna start with only original content that's amazing to get everyone to like the Netflix brand, and then we're gonna branch out.
No, that's true, but I don't think they're branching out poorly. I think as far as Netflix originals go, if somebody says, "Hey, it's a Netflix original," I'd say you're in the 6s. You're safe.
I say because it's a Netflix original, you get an automatic IMDb 1-point bump.
Oh, okay, all right. That's a good algo.
I like that. That makes sense.
So that's what happened on Monday. 2017 film. Now to a TV show. We're doing American Vandal. I think this came out in 2017, right?
Just this month.
Okay, so it's just this month. It's October. It's IMDb 8.3. It's comedy mystery, very comedy. American Vandal. Before we play the trailer, it's a true crime satire that explores the aftermath of a costly high school prank that left 27 faculty cars vandalized with phallic images.
Phallic images.
It is a shocking scene for Hanover High teachers today. The vandals spray painted obscene images on 27 cars.
Oh my God. It's penises.
Yeah, those are spray painted penises on 27 cars.
Watch the explicit. We're gonna get explicititis on.
That's the scientific term.
Like
Penile?
Penile.
Pinochle?
Evidence, it's overwhelming. I spoke to expel Dylan Maxwell for vandalizing the vehicles.
My name is Peter Maldonado.
So
I believe
this is a satire of
making a murderer.
Netflix presents.
They're different. It's just one piece of the puzzle. This is going to take way more than just ball hairs.
An 8-part
original series.
There's no way.
He is the stupidest kid I've ever met.
He's trying to convince you some sort of conspiracy. There just isn't one.
Oh my God. Everyone got secrets.
The administration has something to hide.
This isn't about dicks. This is about the justice system. He didn't stand a chance.
Drew.
The Dick Dicks.
I mean, there's still someone out there.
American Vandal. Hashtag who drew the dicks.
Once again, a Netflix original. Yeah, so this is where's my notes? 2017 film. Yeah, dude, this is what shows should be. This is great stuff.
This is amazing.
Adam, what do you think about this one?
I loved it.
Your
man.
suggestion. Oh, yeah, was it yours?
It was brought to you by Uncle Rob.
Rob.
Shout out to Rob.
Shout out to Rob.
Yes, hey, yeah, he recommended this. We loved it, so I sent him a complimentary 6-pack of Lagunitas.
As we do.
Oh,
I mean, if you
wow.
guys have a suggestion, we send you some sort of alcohol, kind of.
Well, if we like it, if it's good enough that I think it should be on the cast.
Yeah, Tank 432, we punched my own father.
That's not true.
In the face because we hated it so much.
2 out of 3 people. I gave him a big fat hug.
Right. But American Vandal, yeah, this has Jimmy Tatro in it, which I knew from years ago on YouTube as like Frat Life. Like that was his kind of channel, and he has
frat move.
Yeah, frat move. All of his frat. Well, whatever.
Set it up a little bit for the people.
Basically, and I'm coming at it from kind of the outside. Now, what was the show this was based off of? Oh, kind of satiring?
Making a murderer?
So Making a Murderer. So basically what happens is there's a couple of peni that have been spray painted on cars, and they've blamed it on this character, Drew.
Pinned it on.
Right?
Dylan.
Okay. And so anyway, it just takes a perfect satire on a mystery serial podcast style investigation of who done it kind of thing. And it's the humor. I mean, it's, they say it's comedy, satire or comedy mystery, but it's just, the comedy is fantastic. The way they actually make it an investigation is great. They great images as far as like how they evaluate like how something like moved around a room, 3D modeling, and like how they're explaining it to the crowd. Like I loved it. In fact, they're in one scene they're trying to follow the spray paint can
I don't know if you want to talk about that.
No, we can do it. They're spray painted peni.
Right.
So they're in a party. People are doing Facebook Live and Snapchat videos throughout this party, and that's where the can comes from. And that's not revealing anything. But the director of this mockumentary has taken all these videos and follows the can around. I watched this knowing it's a humor mockumentary, satire mockumentary, and I was glued to finding out where this red spray paint can originated, and the way they brought it forth is equally as enticing and interesting and exciting as you were watching, Making a Murderer. It's just as...
I think it was better than any CSI Miami, any CSI
exactly.
show.
It was done so well. It satirically meets humor. It was done so well. And it's a blast to watch because you're there for the humor and you're there for the actual mystery. Yes. Now, I didn't finish this one. Me and Patrick didn't finish this one.
We're so close.
We are, what 2 episodes from the end?
I believe so, yeah.
So, but Adam...
I hope we're watching this after this. I want to see your guys' reaction.
Of course.
So going back to the intro to it, it's 8 30-ish minute episodes.
Short episodes.
So a few of them were 34 minutes. One of them's 45 minutes, and I think the majority of them are around 30 minutes. But I mean, IMDb gave it an 8.3, so comedy mystery. It's really in a genre of its own at this point, because I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this.
Well, I mean, this serial concept and the, serial, and then S-Town is another podcast where it follows the story as it goes by time, but it reveals more as it goes. And, Making a Murder or Finding a Murder. Again, I didn't watch this one. I didn't watch that.
I watched Making a Murder. Did you guys watch it? Did you watch
I
Patrick?
watched it. I definitely watched it.
So, Making a Murder, let's break that down for a minute. Making a Murder is set up as there's this guy in Wisconsin, kind of a white trash hillbilly kind of guy.
Sure.
Owns an auto junkyard.
Owns a salvage junkyard.
Perfect.
He's got beef with the cops. He goes down for a sexual assault.
/ murder.
No, the first time. He goes down for a sexual assault on a female for 16 years. He goes to jail for 16 years or something like that. And DNA evidence later comes and proves he's innocent.
Okay.
And then another body pops up on his property a year later.
Oh.
Another vehicle of a murdered suspect pops up on his property.
Well, and the burnt bones are in his backyard.
Fragments
of
the body.
Well, anyway, so it said he was found guilty of a murder, let off, and now he went to prison for another murder. And this tells about how the Making a Murder tries to play him as an innocent man, the guilty or not guilty of this crime.
Right.
But you probably have strong feelings about Making a Murder. I have strong feelings about Making a Murder. I think Making a Murder is a sham. I think it's a bogus documentary because you went back, you look at the facts that they left out of that documentary,
only to reveal them later.
I had to research
for the story.
I had to research them on my own after I watched the series to find all these facts that they left out of the documentary.
Okay.
So they intentionally made him look innocent in the documentary, which really bugged me.
Just for views.
What do you think?
Sure.
I think that Making a Murderer focused more on the money and the city that it took place in and the insurance that wouldn't cover the crime of the police department forcing it. I think there's a lot of spoons in the pot, so to speak, of stirring it that Making a Murderer kind of framed it. I agree, framed it in a light that isn't totally unbiased.
So how does a show like that, which I never watched, how is it correlated with this one?
So my personal belief is Netflix knows they screwed up with Making a Murder. Because everyone on Facebook's now like, this guy's innocent. We need to free him. We're all lawyers now. We all know he's innocent. But you got to read all the facts of the case that the documentary intentionally left out to make him look innocent, which I think is bogus.
Okay.
But this, I think, is Netflix's way of saying, hey, we kind of screwed up. we're gonna make this to to kind of.
Oh, did Netflix make Making a Murderer?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. That was a NetX original.
Yes.
Interesting. So
the Making a Murderer has been going on for more than, because Netflix released it in 2016.
Yeah.
So I mean,
no, but way before that.
Well, I don't think Netflix has had its name backing it prior to 2016.
Netflix made Making a Murderer.
The entirety, dating back.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
All right, well, I'll have to succumb to you.
Well, either way, so American Vandal is a play off of that.
It's a complete play off of that,
okay.
and it's done.
And you said the intro is like pretty much similar.
It's done brilliantly.
Okay,
it takes all the same camera angles, all the same B footage you love, all the everything,
dude.
Man.
Okay, let's talk just for a second on that B footage. Like they're okay. Well, he
may have come into the house,
and like they did like this beautiful sweeping B footage of like someone's house at a high school party. So it just like it was the film was gorgeous, even though for a documentary this was, I mean, it was beautiful to watch. And then also too, what I mentioned earlier is like they did like, models, like 3D, retro they did 3D rendered models of all the scenes, the crime scenes, and
yes.
They did a lot of serial style stuff with like, well, he wouldn't have had time to go back to the school and back to his house, when it wouldn't have had time. So they like did all those things. They did tested the theories.
They did all that.
It was perfect. This was, I mean, for someone who didn't watch Making a Murderer, this is a serial podcast. In visual form.
So I think the part that convinced me to watch this was like, oh, he's an innocent man. Like someone drew dicks on 27 cars of spray paint. And he's like, I wasn't me, man. I was innocent. So it's kind of like Making the Murder. I didn't do it.
Sure.
And then the guy, what sold me on it was the guy that made the movie was like, I noticed the key difference. When he draws dicks, he includes ball hairs.
Right.
And
that's like a huge wrench in the story.
And the dicks in the car and the cars didn't have ball hairs, which was like hilarious.
Well, but the thing is, it's not. They don't put it as humor. It's quiet, just told. The ball hair. They're like, look at the shaft.
Evidence.
The shaft is different from the head. So like, like that to me, I'm bawling laughing.
Yeah.
But like, it's a serious part of the case.
Right.
So that's the ironic humor throughout is fantastic.
Well, I was worried. Like I was like, okay, so it's Making a Murder, but this guy drew dicks and trying not to prove he drew dicks. How are you going to keep me going for 8 episodes?
Right. Yeah, this is going to get lame immediately.
But it completely does not keep.
No,
me
it's
down.
great, and
you get involved in the characters.
Right.
It is. They got great footage. They got great cinematography. The characters develop. They actually show both sides, so you can see like
you're right,
and they cast blame on the victim Dylan.
They even this is just like a little insight. Midway through, they kind of pull different characters and they go, okay, what if this person did it? And so they go through the story, and how like they can kind of put somebody in the situation, and it's a friend of the the director, the producer of this film. And it just ends up being super funny and it's like ironic, but like it's all truthful investigation. So it's humor mixed with investigation. It's great.
It kind of ties into like, when you're in that high school mindset, like, okay, well, I want to be this. I want to go to college for this. But at the same time, if I could take a jab at my bro for this, I'm obviously going to take the jab over the...
That's perfect. Dude. Yeah. It's so perfect. Like, they never let you forget they're high school kids making this movie. God.
There's a little scene in there where somebody gets, they're analyzing all of the
it's a very serious crime set in a high school setting.
They're taking all the facts in, and someone sends a text to someone else with 2 Ys. They say, "Hey." The girl says to the guy, "Hey," with 2 Ys, and so they go on a
Dale. They said, "Hey."
Right. So they
Not
go.
Hey.
There's a 20.
She wants the D.
There's a 20 minutes, rabbit hole of what high school kids think of a hey with 2 Ys in a text message, which is perfect for the millennials of today.
But in a serious, like, kind of things that I think about when I'm watching movies is how do you because social media, texting, Snapchat, Twitter,
Facebook Live, yeah.
It's all become such a big part of our life. But how do you incorporate that into cinema? That is to me, that's a tough thing to do.
They did it really well in this
because
one.
when you watch a movie, the guy never brushes his teeth, takes out his contacts, washes his face, goes to bed.
Yeah.
But texting and Facebook is such a prominent part of life that it's so hard to capture in movies or TV shows. This show did it the right way.
Oh, brilliant.
It did it brilliantly, and I love when shows can take social media and our phones and turn them into part of the movie.
Well, and that was something cool, too, and I talk about that 3D rendering of the models. They took, Facebook posts and what's trending and text messages and made it cinematically.
It was part of the case. It was social media was
and
a huge part
regardless of like the case, cinematically, like viewing visually wise, it was just beautifully done.
Absolutely.
So, this one's great, and I haven't finished it. Me and Patrick haven't finished it.
That being said, do you think this is better released all at one time or episodically, like one a day? Because there's some parts of this episode where it's like, well, our YouTube channel has grown XYZ instead of from 30 minutes to 30 minutes.
I think just nowadays, as far as not even looking at this movie, as far as how, House of Cards does it and Stranger Things, you have to release everything at once. I understand what you're talking about. If they release it slowly, does it build tension? Does it make the story more intense? I'm sure it would, but I think you'd get more hate than people going like, I'm so excited. I think more people would be like, I need it all right now. I have all night to watch all 8 episodes. You know what I mean? So
I watched the whole thing on a 9-hour flight. I watched the whole thing.
Do you appreciate it more that you could watch it all on one flight, or would you appreciate it more if you had to wait 1 week to watch it?
I think if I waited more, it would build more suspense.
Well, do you think you'd still be 7 days later in this day and age when people are so immediate with their,
because
intake of media?
You don't watch Game of Thrones. One of these days you will. And
once it's on Netflix.
It's not coming. Just watch it.
I've watched a lot of shows. I've watched Game of Thrones.
Well, we all watched Lost week by week.
Well, no. You and me watched the first 3 or 4 seasons of Lost
DVD
back to back to get us hooked.
2 days.
In 2 days, to get us just drinking Steel Reserve in your old apartment in Lansing.
I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Whoa! You were Reg before you were Reg?
I was anti-Reg before. I was Reg, anti-Reg, Reg.
You were in Lansing?
Yeah,
it's Reg.
It's debatable.
But anyway, like Lost, I watched. Right, week to week sucks.
Yeah,
but like Game of Thrones, like week to week, because I'm in it with everybody in society.
Do you think
what I mean? Like we're all watching it together, so that feels kind of cool. So unless
you don't think you'd get more out of Game of Thrones if they did just a whole season release?
No, I would love it. I would love it personally. I'd love to, if I'm just watching the show, I'd love to watch it all back to back. But the only thing that gives me solace watching it week to week is that I get to watch it with Patrick. I get to watch it with everybody on Twitter.
He
I
may
get to
be
watch
a day behind.
I get to watch. I get to go down to work and say, "Hey, man, what do you think is going to happen this week?"
Okay.
The best part about week to week is you have more interaction with people, and you're all asking, "What do you think?"
Right.
So
if we were all sitting here going like, we haven't watched episode 3 yet. And we're all going, yeah, so far 1 and 2 are good.
That would be good.
But you watched it all, Adam. Me and Patrick haven't. So, like, is that taking away from it, or is that more exciting?
Not at all. I love knowing that you guys don't know. Guys, I got one question for you. Who drew the dicks?
Do you know? It's what?
Oh, 27 dicks on 27 cards.
Who knows, man? I don't know. In fact, we got to wrap this podcast up because we got to watch the rest of this.
You got to watch it. You got to know who drew it.
Tell you what, Adam, I'm looking at you, man. Rewatch or recommend? Talk to me.
Yes and yes. Watch it. I recommend it. I'll watch it with you because I would watch it again in a heartbeat.
What about this? Like, what if Rob hasn't watched it yet, although he's the one who suggested it? All right. What about...
I don't know if he's watched it yet. He said we got to watch it, though.
Okay, what if he hasn't? He comes to you right now. I want to start episode 1.
I would drop everything right now to go watch this with Rob. Because Rob, of all people, would love this.
So if Rob suggests, Rob gets.
Yeah.
You're mid-podcast. Rob walks in. he says, "Hey, we got to do Creep, or we got to watch more American Vandal. What do you pick?"
Do you cancel the cast?
American Vandal? No, I wouldn't cancel the cast. I never do that, guys.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Watching... Okay, guys, we talked about our priorities in life before.
Agreed.
True. Rob falls down below podcast. I'm sorry to say that, but I would say, hey, Rob, just give me 30 more minutes. Let me finish this cast, and we'll go watch it.
Right. Okay. You do it?
But it's that good that I have to think about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Patrick, what you've seen thus far, episode 6, so we're just getting into 7.
Yeah.
Rewatch, recommend.
It's not that I don't want to review cast. It's just that I want to go finish up Who Drew the Dicks. I'm really curious. I want to know how
this
it finishes.
Thing keeps you on edge just like a normal murder mystery.
Yeah.
It's penis mystery. That's really what it is.
Definitely watching it probably one more time just so I could get the prestige nuances, and definitely going to recommend it to anybody I know.
I think I was just really impressed by how I thought, okay, it's a making a murder documentary about dicks. How are you going to keep this joke going for 8 episodes?
Right. No, yeah.
But I was hooked. Like,
dude, and I was telling you guys earlier, there's a couple things where they're diagnosing the crime scene and they're following the spray paint bottle around. This is not revealing anything. There's 3D rendering. There's interviews with people. There's bringing up facts from this and this. I'm watching this glued as if I'm watching, this is a real case.
You love CSI. You love comedy. You're going to love this.
Love it. I'm on board with Patrick. Rewatch, recommend. I haven't even finished it. Everybody start it right now.
Definitely. I was going to say the production value that's going into this is probably got to be greater than half of the movies on Netflix.
Sure.
It's not that it's like overblown CGI. It just feels like it's a fully developed story, and there's storyline. There's all sorts of elements going into it. It's not Game of Thrones level, but it's around the area of character development that we all love so much.
It's almost as epic.
It's so hard for me to sit here and not explain the whole thing to you guys because I can't. I don't know how I can dance around this.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's leave it. Let's leave it as it says. You recommend and you would rewatch. Patrick's the same. I'm the same, and I haven't finished it. So that's how good it is.
Okay.
So, well, tell you what. What's on your drink review for this one?
I wrote down Space Station Middle Finger.
Okay.
I think it's a funny, ironic thing, but it's really good.
Right.
So that's what I wrote about. Like, Space Station Middle Finger is a Three Floyds beer. You're thinking, like, you want the Space Station Middle Finger? Like, okay, that's a crazy title. Why would you ever name a beer that? But it's pretty good.
Yeah. Agreed.
So that's why I gave it. What'd you give it, Dale?
I wrote, this is just a high school beer. And I tried to think back, like, what you would drink in high school and what I drank in high school, which was, like, a lot of, like, Bush. Like, we drank, like, hillbilly-style beer in high school. But, like, a Bush, it's not a bad beer. Like, it'll get you there. And so, like, if somebody hands you a Bush, if Rob comes forward and goes, hey, you got to watch American Vandal. If Rob came forward to hand me a Bush, you drink the Bush. And you know what? You might have a few because that's what kind of night it is. And that's what kind of beer this is in correlation with this.
I did that over 4th of July. Rob handed me a Bush, and I drank it.
When has Rob ever done us wrong? Well, there was that one, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah.
Patrick, bring us down Lickstraw Isle, my friend.
I was right along the same lines as you, Dale. Bush is, like, right there, that high school beer. You got, like, Bush. You got, like, Ice House. You got all that.
Oh, we drank a lot of Ice House. And yeah, you know what? I'm changing mine from Bush to Ice House. That's
you can change it.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But I'm saying it's going to be a Miller High Life because in high school, nobody knows about Miller High Life. Like, you get 24, and that's when you find out, like, it's that real mid-tier right before you hit, like, the Stellas, the Guinness, like, that top tier, and, like, the high-end stuff. So it's a high school beer that's not quite high school.
Right.
And that's why I gave it that, because, like, Miller High Life, you could drink that all day, and it'll get you right. It's beer pong beer. It's
a champagne.
Yeah, that's what it is. So that's why I gave it a Miller High Life.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was in college, Brothers Bar, this was on Wednesday nights, $1 High Lifes, 30-cent wings.
Oh.
Where's that?
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
That's like a Friday night at the 1890.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, that's American Vandal. Last one up is 2014 film Creep. When a videographer answers a Craigslist ad for a one-day job in a remote mountain town, he finds his client is not all what he initially seems. 6.2 IMDb, which is low. Horror thriller, 77-minute with a $0 budget. That's Creep 2014. Let's watch the trailer.
All right, we are leaving the flatlands, and we are heading up towards the mountaintop. The ad said $1,000 for the day, filming services.
So this is all handheld.
Discretion is appreciated.
Documentary. Wonderfully unsettling.
Wonderfully unsettling, intense, disturbing, and hilarious.
No, because I'm here.
Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm assuming you're Aaron.
Yeah, I'm Aaron. Nice to meet you.
Joseph. Oh, my God.
Mark Duplass there.
Oh, my God.
Of what? The
This is gonna
League
be a
fam,
good day.
right?
So the reason I've hired you is because I have terminal brain cancer, and I want you to film me to make a video diary for my unborn son.
You ready for this?
In one moment.
This is called an adventure. We don't know exactly where we're going, but I have a feeling.
A normal
When you
day.
follow those feelings, great things can happen. Don't ever forget that.
Joseph?
Can
It was about 2
become
seconds there where it
terrifying.
looked like you wanted to kill me.
An unholy union of what about Bob and fatal attraction.
I think I'm gonna head back.
There's the thumbnail right there.
Okay.
Bottoms up.
From the producer of Paranormal Activity and a few other films that I couldn't read.
You need to get out of that house right now.
Unnerving. Deeply disturbing.
Joseph.
Scary
Why do you
good.
look scared? Don't be scared. It'll all be over soon.
Creep.
Okay, so just with the trailer, my legs have goosebumps.
Hello, Valerie.
Okay, well, let's cut that off quickly. So that's Creep 2014 film. Dude, okay, I suggested this one for the cast. I want to know what you guys think. I like this one. I think I'm already diving into rewatchability. I've watched this one twice. Patrick, what do you think about Creep?
Well, Adam, if you want to play Roger, I'll play Ebert, and I'll give it 1 thumbs up, and you can...
I'll give it 2 thumbs up.
Stay
you can give
alive
it
for a little
second-
bit longer.
A second thumbs up. Yeah, this movie was definitely fit the October theme of horror movie month.
Right, and so just in case you guys don't know, this is our first October podcast, so we're doing horrors for every podcast of the month. So you think it really did our first week good for the horror aspect?
Yeah, so like when you get in the first week of October, you're not trying to like dive like super scary movie in. You're trying to like ease yourself
You
into
gotta
it.
ease into it.
Yeah, so this movie was a good like toe into the cold end of the 7 feet deep pool. So I think this was
27
pretty good.
feet deep.
Yeah, 17 feet deep.
Right.
And it was pretty good.
127 feet deep later.
Yeah.
Right.
So I really like this movie. I thought it shined well on this month of, horror movie month.
Sure.
Being October. I thought it was very suspenseful. It
Right.
had a lot of jump scares, which isn't kind of like my cup of tea.
Right, which I'll touch on once you're done, sure.
Yeah, but towards the end of the movie, like it really, like the first 60 minutes built up to the last, was it 17 minutes or 7? Yeah, 17 minutes of the movie. And I think it kind of fits that paranormal activity paradigm where it's build up,
right,
payoff,
right,
and the payoff really kind of
rocks you,
yeah,
right.
so.
No, you touch on jump scares, and I hate them. I hate all jump scares. I'm a anti-awkward type of guy. I hate that awkward feel in movies. But the silence of this film, if you guys can remember, I watched this one today, so I'm kind of fresh on it. But the silence of the handy cam walking through a silent, dark house in the night, dude, it really, just puts you in an awful place. But sometimes the jump scares pay off, as we saw in the trailer, but sometimes they don't, and that's almost more unsettling. But Mark Duplass does a great job at being this character. This guy who directed this one also directed The Overnight, which we watched for the podcast.
The Invitation.
No, not The Invitation. The Overnight.
Oh,
with,
The Overnight. Okay.
Jason Schwartzman. It was kind of It put us all in a weird place.
I was mistaken because when I clicked this movie, it said, like movies you might like, The Invitation.
Oh, that's a great one, too. It's also on the podcast.
Yes.
But The Overnight put you in a real awkward place. And this one also did, too, as far as, fearing the jump scare and fearing what's going to happen next and twists and turns and stuff like that. That same tension lasts in that one and in this one, too. I thought this is great. Again, will be my third time watching this one. I watched it myself originally. I'm a Mark Duplass fan, depending on how much you like him for what he said recently in media. But I like him as an actor, and I think I watched it once by myself, once with my wife, and I watched it again for the cast. So that's why I threw it on the docket. Adam, Creep. What did you think of this one?
Well, this movie is 77 minutes long, and I think I have more notes about this movie than any other on this podcast, on this docket.
And before you keep going on those notes, they're making a Creep 2, same characters.
Oh, dude.
Are you excited that they're doing it?
I will rewatch that.
Okay, good. So go on.
Well, the Creep, spoiler alert, it's creepy.
Yo, sure.
Spoiler alert.
Very good. The handycam stuff, does that freak you out as much as me? It's paranormal activity.
This was in my notes as well, Dale.
Okay.
You know me better than I know you, that you know myself.
Indeed.
And so
You could say that again.
I wrote down
Easy
Dale.
for you to say.
I can't believe this is one of Dale's favorite scary movies because of the hand cam.
I hate hand cam and I hate horror. This is a hand cam horror, and I love it.
Exactly.
What's going on?
That's what I wrote. I said, what is going on? Dale hates hand cam and he hates scary movies, but he loves this movie. Dale.
I am your Jason Alexander to your Jerry Seinfeld. I mean, no, you're right, man. What is it about this one that I really enjoy? I mean, the jump scare. I hate jump scares.
But it's good. I understand why you like it.
Sure.
When I was watching it, I was like, why does Dale like it? Because of his stances on this. But I really know why you like it, because it's a good movie. And it's like, well, it's got the actor from The League. Do you watch
Mark Duplass, yeah.
Yeah, I watch it. I don't participate in fantasy football, but I do watch it.
Oh, please, because I'm kicking his ass in fantasy football. Dude, in Mitch We Trust put up 181 this week.
We get it. Moving on.
Oh, dude. I got Larry Fitzgerald.
No,
I
got
Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley the second.
Oh, Todd Gurley, you didn't trust it.
Todd Gurley the second with 7 touchdowns on the year.
So Mark Duplass, dude, he's dynamite. And again, regardless of what you think he said recently in the media, who cares?
Well, on The League,
the dude is dynamite.
On The League, he plays a funny character. He's kind of like he's a character that's kind of he's a single guy. He's a funny guy. He's very down to earth, very logical, very pointed with his jokes.
Sure.
Really fun character to enjoy.
Okay.
And he played this character like amazing. It's like it had some resemblance, of his character from The League, but in a creepy way.
Sure.
Like he was really good in this. I was impressed by his range on this.
Well, I mean, the whole movie's set up creepily. This guy calls it's like a Craigslist style ad to,
let's set it up a little bit.
Well, I mean, he filmed, even in the trailer, he says, I'm dying of cancer and I want to film something for my unborn child. And that's just a teaser. Once you guys watch the film, this is things get wild.
He sets up a good the movie. The whole time, I found myself wondering: is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy?
Right.
And
because he has the heartfelt moments. He has he's kind of like the off off-putting moments,
But there's definitely a tipping point where you realize, like, he's gone from maybe I can identify as Mark Duplass's character to a way off the deep end. Like,
right.
Well,
someone who would want...
I would give him the mantle for that.
I don't know.
I'd give him the mantle for that.
All right, the mantle's out there.
Because you don't know that. The whole movie is based on the premise that you don't know which way he's going to tip.
Right.
So you're telling me a movie with the title of Creep, you don't know which way he's going to tip?
Well, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, it's valid.
Yeah,
and we
take
do
your
see that in the
damn
trailer
mantle
a little bit.
Okay, I'll
Give me
take the mantle.
Either way, no.
Mantle
Give me a
retracted. Mantle
But the
retracted.
way this character works, like Mark Duplass's character, you gotta understand, like, he invites someone to shoot his pretty much
death video,
diary to his unborn child.
So naturally, you would forgive a lot of weird tendencies.
So yeah, he's a little off the cuff. Well, God forbid, would you call someone in to video, off of Craigslist, video your final, words to your unborn son? That is a little strange already.
And the videographer, he feels very sympathetic for Mark Duplass's character,
right? And Mark Duplass,
he feels, and that is what sets up the whole plot of the movie that makes it special,
right?
I think what we're skipping over a lot in this movie is that, like, with Drinking Buddies, a lot of it was improvised. And, like, you're watching.
Was this improvised as well?
This movie was entirely improvised.
I could tell. I could tell.
Shut up.
I could definitely tell. Patrick's pointing at his notes if he couldn't hear the pounding. I mean, it's definitely, there's off the cuff. They're talking over themselves.
Holy cow.
It was so raw and original, and it was real. It was real dialogue.
Exactly. There was 2 actors in this movie.
Wow, that's awesome.
And so when you look back at movies like Drinking Buddy that call themselves improvised, and then you look at movies like this that are actually improvised,
right?
You can tell the difference in, like, it's that hand cam footage that you got shaky cam,
off the cuff,
unintentional shaky cam. You got, like, shots where you're going up the stairs, and you could tell this movie is how an improvised movie should be done.
Right.
And then you look at Drinking Buddies, and that's how it shouldn't be done.
Right.
You got awful, and you got Oscar at one end. That's what I look at these.
Yeah.
So,
wow. I did not know this was improvised.
Well, I mean, I could tell.
That's how good it was.
A lot of the dialogue, especially, you knew what the characters needed to, like, talk about in a scene. But when the filmmaker that comes in to film Mark Duplass and they have, like, a conversation, they're talking over themselves, like, just like a regular conversation is sometimes on this podcast. We
Wait,
talk
what
over.
are you talking about?
Yeah, we're talking over ourselves, kind of like.
Why, what did you say?
We're, like, talking over ourselves. Like, it's just like a real life conversation, and that puts you on edge too, because you're sitting with 2 real people talking about whatever they're talking about.
It's so good then.
It's so good, and so I think that's what, like, saves me, like, pulls me out of the horror and shaky handycam. Like, it's that,
because it's great dialogue,
dude.
It's fantastic dialogue
because it's real dialogue.
It's fantastic dialogue. It's real fantastic dialogue.
So they're talking about. I mean, you're diving into the characters and they're explaining themselves in real time, in real verbiage,
and the way the conversations change from scene to scene is like,
well, and that's all Mark Duplass. Well, and that's why I gotta hand it to him. What a great way to drive the character and drive the storyline.
It's like Mark Duplass, you said with the Overnight. You're teetering on the edge.
Right.
You're always teetering on the edge.
Who do I believe?
Which way am I going to fall?
Who
do I believe? Is this going to be weird? Is this going to be creepy? Is this going to be funny? What? You're always on the edge.
Right. Yeah. That's the whole thing. So it's horror. I'll give it horror, but I mean, dang.
Oh, it's horror. It's scary.
It's definitely scary.
A lot of jump scares.
Yeah.
There's times I was watching this on the plane, and I was sitting next to the window, and I'd be like, I just point the iPad at the window, and I watched it through the reflection of the window because I couldn't watch the whole thing. You know, I still have my headphones.
Once you
in.
have 1 degree of reflective plastic, you're good.
Then I'm safe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wrote down too the silence because this one isn't a, you know,
there's only 2 characters in the whole movie.
Yeah, but there's no like soundtrack, of course.
Right.
So the silence is terrifying, which leads into, you know, people with handycams walking down dark hallways, walking down dark staircases. The jump scares are absolutely warranted and terrifying because of the, you know, what the characters are building, et cetera, et cetera. The jump scares are warranted. The horror is perfect for me. It's not supernatural. It's not anything crazy. This is 2 well-written characters doing something terrifying.
Not written, though.
It's not. Well, no, it's the story, I'm sure, is written, but the dialogue's not. So how they interact is raw and real, but the story itself and how like someone wrote the movie to end up how it did is so well done. This is... Horror movies, as you know, and you stated, I hate. This is great. I suggested it.
I hate horror movies as well, but I really enjoy this movie.
Right. Even the jump scares, which I hate, I loved.
What do you say, Patrick?
You don't like horror movies?
No.
So how are you going to get through this month?
It's going to be a tough month.
Have you ever... What don't you like about horror movies?
I don't like being scared.
Yeah, what's the point? I mean, life's pretty rough how it is. I don't want to bring horror into it.
You have a loving wife. You have a wonderful studio. How horrible could it be?
Well, you know, with
the 1890 studios.
We put a little echo in there.
I don't know, dude. It's just like I don't know. It's like I don't. Ever since I don't like going through haunted houses.
Right.
People are like, hey, you want to go through this haunted house? No, I don't want to do that.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be that scared.
Yeah.
Like,
scared is an emotion I don't think I need to like tap into.
Right.
You know. But either way, this
Patrick,
one.
You like being scared though.
What do you think about this one? You like being scared. You like horror films in general. Did this one stand up in the horror genre, or was this a good like mockumentary style film?
The last 12 minutes of this movie if you like Paranormal Activity, you'll like this movie because Paranormal Activity is roughly 60 minutes of build up and then maybe 12 minutes of payoff.
Sure.
So you have to build the intensity before you can get the payoff of the entirety of the movie. So that's
I see what you're saying.
That's where I'm getting at with it. But if you don't like being scared, I mean, this isn't a movie for you. This isn't like I can't even put this.
Okay,
I
well
can't
then
categorize this for you if you're not a horror.
You're touching on rewatch and recommend. Rewatch what? If you're not, if you are a horror film, watch it. If you like horror films, watch it. Or if you don't like horror films, watch it.
Yeah, before we get to rewatchability, may I make one more point?
Go ahead.
In my long list of notes that I had for this movie.
No, sure.
I had this movie's at a 6.2.
Way low.
Underrated.
Way low. This needs to be high sixes, maybe sevens.
Minimum sevens.
I think 7.1, 7.2.
I'm in the high sixes. I don't know about the sevens because there's some plot holes in this movie. There's some undeniable plot holes. We can talk about it later.
Okay.
There's some undeniable plot holes that keep me from getting into the sevens, but high sixes for sure.
So as far as handycam horror film, you know, kind of genre goes, I mean, what? Paranormal Activity? Is that up there with this one?
Well, Paranormal Activity is kind of really unique to the handycam footage because they kind of dominate that style of footage, whether it's a camera attached to like one of those oscillating fans.
Okay.
You know, they've had that. I'd kind of give it to Saw because they have that same distinct like we'll have a shot from here and then if they do a hard
like security cam style. But either way, I mean, think about this. Handycam, like this is a full documentary style horror. What's another documentary? I mean, people are yelling at their podcast.
Blair Witch.
Okay, Blair Witch. Okay.
I was going to say Blair Walsh.
But either way.
That would be a much better film.
I got fantasy on the brain. But yeah,
either
Blair
way,
Witch.
like as far as handycam horror, it's like a different genre. I mean, it's a new genre. I mean, everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody got cell phone videos.
But it works great for horror.
Well, that's perfect because, I mean, that puts you exactly where you would normally be. I mean, we all know what holding a Handycam is like.
Especially in October.
Right. So it really works. So I like the horror that's presented. This isn't a Scream. This isn't a...
It's super creepy, man.
Very creepy.
It's super creepy.
And it's because of this style of filmmaking.
It's like, again, spoiler alert, it's super creepy.
Right.
And it makes you feel creepy, and it's just, it's well done.
And it's all Mark Duplass's fault. He's so good.
And I believe the sequel's coming out on October 24th of October 2017.
So we're going to have to revisit this month and bring it back for a future podcast.
Because this is a trilogy film set. This is the first of 3 films.
Did the budget increase from $0 to some dollars?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, that's good. Keep it as raw as possible, I suppose. But either way, Adam, rewatch, recommend. What do you think for Creep 2014 film?
To be honest, I would say recommend yes, but I had for rewatch no. But after watching, I'll be honest, after watching the trailer just now, I'm like, yeah, I could watch that again.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I would say yes, rewatch, and yes, recommend. Yeah,
but I do
watch it by yourself though.
Yeah.
We talk about some movies.
I don't think it's a large group viewing movie.
There's some movies that we talk about you want a large group. There's some people you want by yourself, just you and somebody else. But I think you want to watch the movie by yourself, get you in the creepy mindset.
Definitely.
It's just you, and you're like checking, sounds around your house.
Right. You're turning the lights on and pulling guns out, a 38 special.
You're pointing the iPad at the airplane window so the Pacific Ocean sees the movie instead of you.
Patrick, rewatch, recommend. What do you think, brother?
I like how Adam said you have to watch it by yourself because it'll really isolate you if you watch this by yourself versus watching with another person.
Brings another level of fear.
Yeah.
Sure.
So definitely, if you're going to rewatch it, I think you rewatch it with your significant other or maybe 2 other
someone
people.
You feel safe with.
Well, it's not that you want somebody else to feel safe. It's that you want to be able to observe how they're feeling. So
okay,
and you nailed it, Patrick. Man, that last 17 minutes is dynamite,
dude.
Like you nailed that. Like
right.
that's. I had a lot of notes that wasn't in one of my notes. I'm kind of mad about it, but you're right. Those last 17 minutes are creep.
You gotta remember, I watched it directly, eyes to screen, not eyes to reflection to screen.
I think no vacuum, no vac act.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm on board, man. I'm on board with both of you guys. I mean, this is my third rewatch. Personally, I've watched it with my wife, so obviously there's a recommendation there. I suggest it all. As a non-horror guy, this is definitely worth a watch for sure. It's in its own. It really brings a different genre onto itself. I can't compare anything. I mean, some things can get close, but it's kind of on its own thing. It's a very cool, very creepy film. Patrick, looking at you for rewatchability, brother. What do you got walking down the liquor store aisle?
I think next year I'd watch it because I watched it once at the beginning of the movie. It's a real good intro to October. In that next year, October 2018, I think I'd watch it again. As far as recommendability, I'm going to recommend this to anybody that wants to watch a horror movie or just like a intro to horror movies at any point during the year for 2018.
What about your drink review for this one?
My drink review, I have written down Everclear because the first time I had Everclear, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And by the end of the night, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So
that makes sense.
It's a good drink.
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Adam, walking down the liquor store aisle, brother.
I wrote down vodka. This movie is kind of I don't know why I thought vodka, but it's kind of vodka's kind of like more a different drink that I'm not used to. Like horror's a different drink that I'm not used to.
Sure.
And I wrote down Absolute. I thought it was just, it's not your top shelf, but it's like the second from the top shelf.
Sure.
It's right in that level.
Right.
It's just
mid-shelf.
Just below the top tier, but it's it's a good vodka that you can sip on and drink and watch this movie with. So
right. Okay.
What about you?
I'm on board with you. I'm kind of going like middle shelf, but it's a whiskey. It's a mid-shelf whiskey, but it's a whiskey double. So it's like, he was like, hey, man, you want a whiskey? Which, if you watch the movie, you're going to get a little insight into. But, yeah, I'll have a whiskey. What about a whiskey double? It's like, man, there's a little more than I'm used to. I like a little whiskey with, like, kind of a lot of ice. But if you're going to pour me a double, I guess I'm ready for it. So this movie, you know your whiskeys. But, you know horror movies. You know how they're supposed to be. But, like, a double whiskey, like a double pour,
you ain't ready for it.
You're not ready for it. And just like this movie, you're just not ready for a double. So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at on this one. I mean, it's kind of a double. Let's be honest. But that's the way I feel about that. So, I mean, I think that's it for us, guys. That's Creep. That's 2014 film. We talked about American Vandal, and we talked about what happened to Monday. Guys, I got to look at you guys. Get off the fence. What's movie of the week? Adam, looking at you, brother.
Oh, man. I'm going to go American Vandal.
Okay. Why is that show taking the cake for you?
It's just, it's more complete. I feel Creep's really good, but I feel like American Vandal just has a step above it.
Right. It's a good one, and I can't wait to finish it after this podcast, for sure. Patrick, movie of the week, brother.
If you're in a time crunch, I think American Creep does it for you.
American Creep?
Nah, if I have to be put on the spot, I think I'm picking Creep just because it's October. It's a good month for horror movies. But if you got a couple hours to burn, or if you're trying to spread it out over time, American Vandal would be the way to go.
Sure, yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, no, I think, I don't know. I mean, American Vandal really drug me in, but if I have to suggest one as like my movie of the week, I want to do Creep. That just for October, just from now, Creep is just extra creepy.
Well, that's good. Speaking of October, so our movie of the week is Creep, and looking forward to October, what we have is, in case you want to watch movies before we podcast, or you just like to listen to our podcast and then dive in, we have different couple of movies. Next week we have the week of the 11th. We have Honeymoon coming up, which is a movie about two people going on a honeymoon.
Okay.
Ygritte from Game
What's
of Thrones.
that like?
What's that?
Going on a honeymoon.
Yeah, tell us about that,
Yeah.
since you were on one days ago.
Dude, we need an explicit podcast for that.
Oh,
Hi-yo. So we got Honeymoon in the week, and then October 18th we got Train to Busan coming out, which is a South Korean zombie movie. I'm really excited about that one. It's going to be really good.
We got subtitles in that?
Is that the good Korea?
Yeah.
That's from Hurley from Lost.
And then
Is
October
that the good
25th, 6 days before Halloween, we got Stranger Things Season 1.
Yes.
And then Stranger Things Season 2 comes out on the 31st. We'll set you right up for Stranger Things Season 2.
Set it up and knock them out.
There we go.
Nice, guys. Well, hey, tell us what you think. We're at 1890studios.com. That's the 1890studios.com. Patrick will have some polls up there. What's your favorite Halloween movie? And what should we watch from the Halloween genre off of Netflix? But we're on Facebook, too. Search the Netflix Explorers podcast. We'll be up there. We're on Twitter, at TheNetX. We go ahead and post all of our new podcasts up there. And also our you can watch us on YouTube, too, which is really cool.
We're on the book as well.
What's that?
We're on the Facebook.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, too. Search the Netflix Explorers podcast. We're on iTunes. We're on the podcast app off of iTunes. If you could, please download. Please subscribe. Please leave a rating. Just a simple, maybe a 5-star rating would help us get seen. We're already shooting to the top of Spreaker, which is our podcast hosting site. We're already shooting to the top of that as far as the movies and entertainment goes, but we'd like to be on top of Netflix, too.
Recommend us a movie. If we like it, we'll send you a complimentary beverage of your choice.
No, that's easy. I mean, I'm Dale at 1890studios.com, and Patrick and Adam at 1890studios.com. If you got anything that, you want us to see, or, you got something to say about what Adam has said about these, just Adam at 1890studios.com. Shoot him an email. Shoot me an email. Let us know. We're also the NetflixExplorers at gmail.com if you guys got anything to say. But, guys, I got to say, it's been a pleasure casting with you guys. It's good to see you guys. I mean, we've been away for, like, what, a month?
I miss you guys. I'm not going to lie.
Great to have you guys back. Patrick, fantastic to see you, brother. It's great to see you.
Yeah, I was on my way over here, and I was listening to The Boys Are Back by Dropkick Murphys. I was like, I'm so glad to be headed to the 1890 at this point.
When I was in Hawaii with Jenna, I was like, man, this is great. Can't wait to get back and meet this podcast with my boys.
Awesome, guys. Well, hey, we're the Netflix Explorers, and we're going to say so long, and thank you for listening.
I'm not trying to alarm everybody, but I'm just trying to tell you what is going on.